Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Mercury Sextile or Trine Natal Uranus. Now, when we're talking about transits, when we talk about this transit, it may manifest in communications, learning, assimilating information, siblings, cousins, neighbors, short journeys. These things may be in harmony with your friendship. You may feel more like talking and communicating with your friends at this time. Your communication will likely be less erratic during this time when you have transit Mercury, say making an adverse aspect to your natal Uranus. That's when communications might become more intermittent, more sporadic and erratic. But when you have this transit, it's more of a good flow as far as communicating to your friends, and it's more likely that things will be readily understood what you're trying to say to them. If you have your natal Uranus and Capricorn, it could be older friends or people that are involved. It could be in the government, could be authority figures, people that are very career oriented, business oriented. And it's also a time where you have a better opportunity, I would say, to articulate and verbalize your goals and your aspirations at this time as well. If you have, say, your natal Uranus in Aquarius, it could be those goals and aspirations may be connected with astrology or astronomy, computers, electronics, aviation, meteorology as some examples. And it's also about being able to communicate regarding your future at this time. If you had, this transit doesn't last for a protracted or prolonged time period, but it does last for a little bit. You're going to have, could be a time where you can be more apt to write about Uranus related things. If you are a writer and you're doing anything where your writing is connected with, say, science fiction or things that are futuristic, writing about innovation or astronomy or astrology, anything connected with Uranus, this could be a very propitious time to be able to do that and accomplish a good amount, even though it's a relatively short transit. Now, it could also be a time where siblings, cousins, and neighbors may be more in favor and agreement of what you're planning for your future, what your goals and your aspirations may be at this time. And it could also be a very favorable time for just taking short trips, short journeys, whether it's with friends or whether it's going to visit them or it's going to say you're taking a short trip to some a group, club, or organization. Say if the natal Uranus is in Sagittarius, the club could be associated with sports or religion or philosophy or exploration, anything that is connected, say, with Sagittarius. Um, it could also be a time to, again, the fact that Uranus is connected with groups and clubs, this is a time where your communication is more apt to be, what you're talking about. If you're in, a club or organization and it's like some meeting you're having and you're all trying to communicate your ideas or your thoughts may be more readily expressed at this time and accepted. There could be more agreement in what you're conveying to these people in those groups, more so than usual at this time. Now, another thing too is that Uranus, anatomically speaking, is connected with the ankles, the shins, the calves, the nerves, and circulation. And this could be a time, if you're have had any issues with them or currently having issues with them, this is the time where you're more apt to be able to speak about them and be able to address them, be able to understand them a little more as far as why these problems are occurring, as an example. And if you're, say, you're having a doctor's appointment or you're seeing your primary care physician, is the time where you're likely more apt to be able to talk about these things and be able to have the doctor understand what's actually going on and finding a solution or at least some treatment for it. This is a time too, keep in mind, okay, Uranus is very erratic, sporadic, and intermittent energy. And when you have this transit, it's a time where you won't have to, if you're trying to communicate and there's somebody, say if there's somebody in your life, there's it's you would see as somebody erratic, they're 1 minute gone the next. It's a time where you're more apt to even be able to talk to those people, and despite the dealing with somebody that might be erratic in your life, this is a time where you might have still a better opportunity, I would say, to talk to this person. Or if there's something just erratic in general in your life, say if your natal Uranus is in the sixth house, if you have some kind of fluctuating employment situation or work life, and the schedule keeps changing week in and week out, this is a time where you can maybe talk about this, perhaps to somebody, and be able maybe to work something out, communicating about things that are erratic and sporadic in your life, and get more of a, I would say, a better response. Say if you have to go to an authority figure regarding this, and you're trying to get something to stabilize, this is the time where you can get more, I would say, a better response, be able to articulate this better, and say it in a way where it goes over in the right manner, and less repercussions as a result if you have to register a complaint regarding this, as an example. Uranus is also connected with what's bizarre and unusual. So you have more of a time where you have a greater understanding of something that might be unusual, that you see as bizarre. If you have your natal Uranus in the 11th house, say, it could be some friend or acquaintance or somebody that's prominent in some group, club, or organization. And this is a time where you might understand if there's some idiosyncrasies with this person, what's the reason behind it, and be more accepting of it at this time. Uranus is also very unpredictable, so you could be more able to deal with something unpredictable. If there's something with a short journey that has to be taken very spontaneously, as an example, and it wasn't planned, this is a time where you could be more accepting, more adaptable to this. At this point in time, if something just in general unpredictably comes up in your life, it's a time where you might be more willing to adapt to it at this time, and be willing to and even talk more about communicate more about this. And if it's something that might be disturbing or upsetting, it can go, what you say can go over better, I would say, at this time, more so than usual. Now, Uranus is also associated with computers and electronics, so this could be a time too where you'd be more apt to mentally deal with things that are, if you have a computer related problem at home, you're trying to troubleshoot it, this is a time where you might have a better opportunity to actually do something, and understand the nature of the problem, whether you try to fix it yourself or calling someone else for assistance. This is a time where you actually might have a better idea or conception what is going on with the computer, what can you actually do about it. And also just your internet connections may go smoother at this time, more so than usual. If there's some problems, with electronic product in your home, there's, like I say, a fire alarm, it's a time where you understand, what's going on with this more, and being able to do something about it. Also, too, Mercury is also connected with the hands and manual dexterity. So if there's something that needs to be fixed, that's computer electronic related, and you need to use your hands, you got to solder something, this is more of a time to take care of these matters with little diversions or distractions or any kind of interruptions at this time. And also, it can be a better opportunity to communicate with society. If you're somebody that's even if you're, say, a very introverted person, you're insular, you're very much to yourself, this is a time where you're going to be more apt to come out and actually be able to talk more with others, ingratiate yourself, or get more involved with other people outside, say, of your home life, as an example. And if there's any issues with freedom or independence that needs to be addressed, this could be a time where you're more apt to communicate these matters. And remember that Mercury is, again, it's connected with siblings, cousins, and neighbors, and these people may be more understanding of those needs of any freedom or independence related issue at this time. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. Now, Uranus is also associated with what's unorthodox. So your mind may be more accepting, maybe you could just simply be doing something in a more unorthodox manner. If you're somebody that's really strongly about convention and you disdain things that, I don't know if the word is oblique, or things that are just different than what you ordinarily do, things, if you're more about the tried and the true, even those people may be more apt to more accept things doing something in a more unorthodox manner, more so than usual. Now, anyway, well, another way this transit may manifest, this could indicate positive communications Mercury, about your future, which is Uranus. Let's say, for example, if the natal Uranus is in Aquarius, it could be your future connected with astrology, astronomy, meteorology, aviation, computers, as some examples. It could also be an auspicious time to learn and assimilate information, which is Mercury, about your goals and aspirations, which is connected with Uranus. Now, let's say, for example, if the natal Uranus is in Capricorn, those goals and aspirations may be tied into information technology, accounting, dentistry, masonry, business, politics, as some examples. Also, too, siblings, cousins, and neighbors, which is Mercury, may favor your friendships at this time, and which is your friendships are connected with Uranus. If Uranus is in Sagittarius, say in the first house as an example, it could be religious, sports, expansive people that might affect your outlook on life, which is the first house. Now, also to short journeys, which is Mercury, say to some club, which is Uranus, it could be a good time to be able to do this. Let's say, for example, if the natal Uranus is in Scorpio, it could be some club or group or organization associated with psychology, recycling, the occult, which also is associated with astrology. It could also be a very favorable and propitious time to think, which is Mercury, about doing things that may be unorthodox at this time. And if you have it in, say, Uranus in Libra in the sixth house as an example, it could be like what I did one time with somebody. I collaborated with a manager in the store in an unorthodox way to bring a product up to the store. We actually used 2 pallet jacks to actually bring one item up. So, and I thought that was fairly unorthodox. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.